So somewhere about 15, 16 miles southeast of Rome is this beautiful village set in the Alban Hills, Castel Gandolfo, and it is about to become the home of the Catholic Institute of Technology, and we are thrilled to have with us the president of that new institute, Bishop Arthur Kennedy. Bishop Kennedy, great to be with you. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Bishop Bob. Thank you very much for inviting me to be on the program.
And we appreciate you being one of our trustees in iCatholic
Oh,
Media
yes,
and Catholic
yeah,
TV.
exactly.
So thanks for that. So what have you been up to lately? Anything?
Well, I've been up to a lot of stuff, actually. In fact, in the midst of while I was getting ready and interviewing people for the faculty, and we have a terrific faculty coming on board. But while I was doing that, I got a telephone call from Archbishop Broglio, and he asked me if I would be willing to do a presentation for the Bishops' Conference in Louisville, and you were there.
And it was outstanding, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Just want you people to know.
Yeah. And I hardly could believe myself when I heard my voice saying, yes, I'll do it. So, but that was a very good thing on the mystery of the Trinity and the Eucharist, and the importance of that as the fundamental source of our faith, and the way in which, especially as bishops, we need to be very attentive to the way in which we give the foundations, because the foundational mysteries to people. So that was one of the interesting things. In the meantime, I've been doing a lot of stuff with the founders of the program, Bill and Alexis Howey. They actually are the founders of this institute, and it came out of their own faith and their own sense of the need for the faith to be able to speak to the kind of world in which we live in today, which is a world just filled with technology and and especially with engineering. I must say, when I was rector of the seminary, I was always amazed at the number of students that we had who came to the seminary to study to be priests had majored in engineering.
Interesting.
Yeah, wow. Very interesting. Yeah.
So what role did you play, have you played, are you playing in this new Catholic Institute?
Well, they came and asked me if I'd be willing to do it, and I kept postponing them, and they kept saying, would you be willing to interview so-and-so and so? And so I said, yeah, of course I'd interview them. And so more or less, I oozed into the position.
And what areas will be offered? What can young people, and older as well, perhaps?
Yeah, so we have two levels of entry. We have students who are coming from high schools, and they will do 2 years of humanities, and then 3 years of engineering. And then we have some students who have already done a program and finished a program in the humanities. And so they will come, and they will be called Newman Fellows. And they will be kind of helping to deal with the younger students and so forth, and putting together sports teams and all that sort of thing. And they will just go right into engineering, so they'll be done in 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just reading the materials on the website, I understand there's a research arm to the university, and I'm wondering if you could explain that to us, and perhaps let us know how AI might be intertwined with that.
Oh, AI is one of the most important things right now. We have almost all of our the STEM faculty of the science faculty. Almost all of them have worked on artificial intelligence. They've written on it. We have people who are in the pontifical universities in Rome, who are teaching ethics on artificial intelligence. We have people, some of the STEM people have been leaders actually in AI. And I think that it's very, very important, because we're going to have, we're going to be at the top of the list, including, by the way, the priest that Pope Francis had appointed to be the representative from the Vatican to the artificial intelligence. We were over there in March. A group of us were over there in March, and we also met with Cardinal Turkson, who was in charge of the work on science for the Catholic Church. He's very interested in it and wants to do some programs with us as time goes by. The thing that you bring up about the fact of the research thing
Yes.
is extraordinary, because the ultimate intention is that these students that we have are going to be leaders in their fields of engineering. That's the intent. And so we have it's a 4-semester setup. So the first 3 semesters will be in classes. The 4th semester will be getting students already working in various engineering firms.
Now, I happen to live very happily with the chaplain at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, Father Michael Midas.
Yeah.
And I've just been curious of late, thinking about this, how the Catholic Institute of Technology differs from a kind of traditional tech school like MIT.
Yeah. So what we have done is this, is I've written in my report, I said, yeah, this is something very new, but it's actually something very old. The Catholic Church, which was always accused in our time of being opposed to science, was the basic supporter of science, beginning right from the very beginning. I mean, when the Roman Empire was collapsing, I mean, it was the Catholic Church that began, through the Benedictines, they began to create schools for young people so that they could transmit some of the learning from the ancient world. And in that were the beginnings of science. I mean, they did Aristotle and all those original scientists. And then when there was a collapse, and they lost a lot of the transition. And then what happened was they rediscovered Aristotle. The church took it up again, and the church created all the great universities of Europe. And then after that, they continued. So this is something different. It's different because it begins from faith, and it begins from the way in which faith speaks to every dimension of human experience. And the other thing is that the important element of research is new, and it's very different from, let's say, other Catholic institutes of engineering, because we are intending to have our students will ultimately become engaged in the top-notch research in the country. I mean, engineering is ancient, and it's, I mean, the first engineering school in the United States was 1737, I believe it was. It was the foundation of West Point. Yeah.
Now, most importantly, in case there are young people or parents, grandparents watching the show right now, who can apply to Catholic Tech? And by the way, the website is catholic.tech if you want to find out more. But who can apply? And also, is there tuition assistance available?
Yes, there is tuition assistance available. Anyone who's coming out of a Catholic high school can apply, as long as they have, I mean, they have to have expertise in mathematics. I mean, they have to know calculus. I mean, you can't just begin calculus, you know, or not having done sufficient mathematics in order to apply. I mean, well, you can apply, but I mean, it's unlikely you would be accepted.
Sure.
So it's people who have this kind of sense that you know, they have I mean, the thing about the word engineering in Latin is it means ingeniare. It means to discover, and it means to discover the practical application of what is being learned in a science.
Well, you have helped us to discover here today just a little bit about this new Catholic Institute of Technology. Catholic.tech is the website. We're going to keep in touch with you. Maybe even come over and visit that beautiful site in Castel Gandolfo.
Oh, by all means. Sometime when you're in Rome, by all means, come out and visit and stay overnight.
And I want people to know, if you're looking at studying in engineering, I can't think of a better and more beautiful place than the village of Castel Gandolfo, the Catholic Institute of Technology, right there, Catholic.Tech. Bishop Arthur Kennedy, thank you so much.
Thank you,
All
Bishop
right.
Bob.
And
Thank
hope
you
to
very
talk
much.
to you soon.
Very good. I hope so too.